Huge thanks to Submission Audio for sponsoring this video. Guys. Okay. I just had a sick idea for a riff. I wasn't even like ready to start recording, but I was just like noodling around. You know how it goes. And we came up with something kind of sick. So I actually had a different idea that I was going to try to do today, something a little heavier, because today is a sick episode because we were checking out the brand new bass library from Submission Audio, Shin's Bass, which is a Warwick, and I am stoked about that. And it is performed by Nick Shins from Job for a Cowboy. I'm not gonna try to say his last name because he goes by Shins anyway. Anyway, guys, what I have so far is something like that. Something along those lines. That's the general idea. That's pretty sick, actually. I'm vibing with that. 1, 2, 3. That was such a bad scratch take. Let's get another one. That was not good. Okay, that was so much better. First one was garbage. Let's go over to the drum kit and come up with some drums. Okay, let's see what we can come up with. I definitely want a fast fill like that at the end of the riff. I like that a lot. I'm gonna try to record that. That's sick. Oh man. I played that super awkwardly, but I think the programming was good. I'm gonna try to edit the MIDI, but yeah, it was super awkward the way I played it, but I think it was good. I think it was good. Okay, let's see how this sounds. So I was doing as much of the double kick stuff as I could with one pedal, but I do want to match those fast open things. I really like this riff. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Okay, so the problem I have right now with the guitars is I've got really thin strings for this tuning, but I really like the tone of thin strings tuned low. Like, I really like when you hit an open string and it's like, bow. Like you get that, like the attack is higher pitched. I really like it. I like the tone of thin strings and low tunings, but the problem is it's easy to play out of tune. We're just gonna have to punch in a lot. Tune to that note, because the problem I'm having is mostly with the lower string. Mixing, mastering, remote production, post-production, composition. If you're in need of any of those services, head on over to architecttigerstudios.com and let's get in touch. All right, back to the riffs. That was a good take. Let's get another one. 1, 2, 3, 4. That was another good one. Low string to that note. So let's get that note first, and then we'll punch in the low string. Got a tune. Come on, baby. Come on. Come on, get it. There we go. That was a good one. We can probably get all that in one big chunk. Oh, that's sick. I love that part of the riff. That's a little flat. A little flat still. Now it's sharp, of course. All right. Not good. Also not good. Sloppy. Ass. Good take, brother. I don't know if I want that to be a power chord or if I want it to be a single note. Maybe we'll dial Saturn back a little bit, because it is quite a bit. Last week for Fall Thursday, it was dialed in pretty hot, and it worked for the riff last week. But this week, it's a little like notier, so I think that helps for sure. That chord sounds a little out, right? Yeah, that sounds off. All right, let's try it again. Punch that in. That already feels better. There we go, guitars are tracked. Okay, the man of the hour, Shin's bass, baby. Let's go. First of all, let's tune our bass. We're in drop F sharp. Dial up a preset, drop F sharp. Buckle up, boys. Okay, we're on the DI setting. I have my bass split into two. I've got the grit and I've got the sub. The grit, I've just got some EQ before Saturn, and then I'm going into Saturn. Here are my settings for that, if you want to pause and grab those, and then another EQ afterwards. And then on the sub, I've got an EQ cutting out all the high end so I can process just the low end here. I'm also muting everything above 250 in Saturn just to double check. And then compressing it, and then EQing again. Basically just shaping exactly what frequencies I want the sub to be covering. And then I've also got these bands as dynamic, so they are essentially also compressing. So that's my bass processing. Yeah, let's program this riff. And then we get crazy. It's really just a bunch of 16th notes, and I'm gonna have to shift it around. So I'm gonna grab the kick MIDI. I'd say until like there is pretty much what we want to be doing on the bass. So let's drop that on there. I think these are all held out, so I can go ahead and force legato on that. And then, what note is that? There we go. Yeah, that's right. And these I need to be 16th notes right there. That's going to be an open. All right, so I think we have all the chord changes for the bass. Let's go ahead and do the jumpy stuff. Yeah, so that's that. Oh, that sounds awesome. That sounds sick. Okay, so we have all the right notes now. Now we just gotta make sure that Shin's bass is playing these notes on the correct string. Oh, nice. When you change the string tuning, it also changes the note over here. Oh, that's really nice. That's really nice, actually. I think that's a Shin bass update. I think it used to just still say force B string, force E string, force A string. But that's really nice. Yeah, so we need to force, so it starts at G8 and then it just goes down from there, which G8, I believe in most DAWs is the highest note in the piano roll. It is in Logic at least. So we want to make sure that we're playing on the lowest string. So we're going to place that note there. Need it to be this string too. Yeah, that's all going to be the F sharp string. We want that to be the A string. Lowest string again. Then that is also going to be the A string. And then back to... Then that is going to be switching between the B and the A. I'm just watching the fretboard here to make sure it is correct. Yeah, nice. All of it's going to be the B string to the end. So there we go. Got our 4 strings in there. Ooh, we need a little pitch bend there. Sounds fantastic. Okay, one problem I have with the bass part now is it sounds weird when it cuts off with just playing that root note before the guitar run on the first bar. We could do that on the bass. Ba-na-na-na. Force the strings on this too. Yeah, that should be right. Should that be just back to the root note of that chord? Here's the guitar. That's, guys, that's so much better. Oh my God. Yeah, 1,000 times better. I'm glad we did that. Oh, we need a little slide there. Add the note that we're sliding to earlier than it hits. I think it's B-2. Let's double check. B-2, yes. Okay, cool. And then 4 string is already on, so we should be good. A little bit slower on the slide. Ooh, the second time, should we harmonize that run? That's sick. We are absolutely doing that. That's so sick. Guys, I love this riff. Hey, Next Day Nick here. You can tell it's the next day because I'm wearing a hat. So I was listening to this riff last night and I really wanted to add some lead guitars or some production guitars to it. One specific thing I want to do is fill out that chord. That chord right there, I want to fill that out with some like octave strummy stuff and then maybe throw some spacey stuff on here too. But before we get into that, let's do a quick walkthrough of Shin's bass. So here's the UI. You saw a little bit while I was programming the bass parts yesterday, but I wanted to cover a little more in depth on what this stuff does. So this setting right here is the DI setting. So that's just no processing on the bass whatsoever. Here, I can bypass my processing so we can listen to it real quick. So here's the DI sound. And then here's what sounds like a clean setting. And then here's distorted. Yeah, these settings sound awesome, but I am using my own processing for this video. Then down here, we've got the alternate picking. I wanted to set it to 1/8 notes. So when the MIDI plays 1/8 notes, it's gonna start alternate picking. Then here's the doom switch. That's just gonna slam all the velocities and make everything super robotic. The humanize knob here, I have set to human, but right before it hits bassist. So you've got bassist, human, and machine. Now with a plugin like Bass, I kind of like to set it a little bit more robotic, but with this one I was feeling kind of the more human side because it's played finger style. It's a Warwick. I just felt like the human feel on this bass was kind of the way to go. And then on the next page, we have the key switch map. So all of our articulations here, which I have set up in Logic. So I can pick specific notes and set specific articulations for whatever those notes should be. You can see it switching down here in the plugin when I play the MIDI back. Then you saw yesterday I picked a tuning preset because I'm in drop F sharp for this riff. So pick the drop F sharp preset, and that makes sure that the open strings are the open strings of drop F sharp, and that when I'm programming, the way the riff is played on guitar, it is played the exact same way on Shin's bass. Something I've been thinking about lately is the benefits of programmed bass over real bass. Because people ask in my comments sometimes why I like to program bass rather than play bass, because I have a nice bass over there on the wall. You can't see it, it's off camera, but I have a nice bass that I could definitely track with and get great results with, but I choose to program a lot. So I've been thinking about what the real benefits are when you program bass versus play a real bass. And first and foremost, I'm not a great bass player. So these articulations, these slap and pop articulations, the dead slap, thumping, all that stuff that you can do in these programmed basses, I can't really do very well on a real bass. I can play bass well enough to get me through a song and track, but I'm not gonna hit these notes with the same authority that Nick Shins from Job for a Cowboy is gonna do, or Toby and Matt from the Omnific. Like, I'm not gonna hit those thumps or those slaps or those pops with the same skill level that these guys can. So that's number one. And number two, you have all of these different bass libraries now. You've got a Warwick, you have the bongo, you have the Spectre, you have the Dingwall. You have all of these different basses that are very expensive basses. And with these libraries, you can get those basses sampled and have essentially an amazingly played Warwick on your track without having to buy a Warwick or hire a bass player or try to be able to play the bass that well on your own. And on top of that, you have these basses perfectly engineered with fresh strings always. You never have to change the strings because they're samples and they were tracked with fresh strings. The input levels are set perfectly. Each sample is chosen specifically. Everything is super, super consistent. And in a mix, especially with metal, the low end is arguably the most important thing to get right. And with programmed basses, the low end is so much easier to get consistent throughout a song, and you don't have to worry about your bass being played out of tune or needing to go through and melodyne your bass. Now, of course, there are benefits to tracking real bass over programmed bass. Of course, having a great bass player playing a great bass live specifically for the song and getting the expression of the player is always going to beat programmed bass. But with programmed bass, you do so much less work for so much more consistency and professional results. My decision on programmed bass versus real bass is always going to vary depending on the song. If it's something super, super heavy, a deathcore track where the tunings are super low and I need that super consistent low end, I'm always going to choose programmed bass for that. But if I want the bass to be more expressive, if there are clean sections, if there are lighter sections where the bass needs to be really performed in a way that shows a lot more emotion and expression, then I might choose real bass, at least for some parts of that song. So yeah, I just wanted to cover my thoughts on that in this video because I think it's an interesting debate. And I see a lot of people argue on the internet. And really what it comes down to is the style of music and what you want to do on that production, what your goals are for that production. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Anyway, let's write some lead guitars. Okay, so I think I want to actually do a pair of rhythm guitars to make that power chord pop towards the end of the riff. Maybe that. That's nice. All right, let's get a pair of those. There we go. I don't want it to be too loud. Yeah, that's really nice. That's really nice, actually. Oh yeah, I wrote this whole like clean section last night too, after I stopped filming. Yeah, kind of just goes on like that. Gets kind of jammy. Let's see what we can do with possibly something spacey here. Maybe up an octave. That's pretty sick, actually. I like how that gets into the next section, too. Let's do it. Nice. I don't know about the first ending. I think I want those notes to be reversed. There we go. That was good. Now I can just punch in the take before that. Turn it down a little more. That's tasty, boys. This one I could actually see turning into a full song. This one is starting to like, because this feels like a chorus, this riff here, and this definitely feels like a bridge. Oh man, some piano on this section would be super cool. Oh man, okay guys, next week maybe we'll continue this riff and write some more to this song and see if we can start turning it into something. Let's put the mastering chain on there and listen from the top. Hell yeah, guys. That spacey lead with these really subtle rhythm guitars really ties the riff together. It felt super bare bones before that stuff, and once I put those things in there, it started feeling like a produced song. The power chord thing, the turnaround into the next repetition, I wasn't feeling it. Not that I wasn't feeling it, I just wasn't super sold on it. But with these extra layers and this spacey lead, it really brought it together. Let me know if you want me to continue this. You guys are probably like traumatized. Like every video, I'm like, let me know if you guys want me to continue this riff next week. And then I never do. Real quick, one last thing. So as you guys know, I released some merch a while back for season 1 of Thick Riff Thursday, which is episodes 1 through 25. And we're coming up on the end of season 2. Episode 50 will be the end of season 2, which is crazy that we're coming up on 50 episodes of Thick Riff Thursday. Thank you guys so much for your support. But the merch for season 1, the concept was to create some designs incorporating symbols representing each episode. So there was the owl for Hedwig's theme. There was an orange for the episode where I played on the Orange Dark Terror back there. So let me know in the comments some symbols that you guys would like to see in the new merch designs, because we're making new merch for season 2 and it's gonna be awesome. I would love to know what symbols you guys think could represent each episode of season 2. Thank you guys for watching this episode of Thick Riff Thursday. Another thank you to Submission Audio for sponsoring this video and sending over Shin's bass. The library sounds incredible, and I'm really stoked to have a programmable Warwick in my library. So like the video and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.